Welcome to Cookie Confessions, where we take a deep dive into the depths of the dough here at Fat and Weird Cookie. Today I am with Brad. Brad is the CEO of Fat and Weird Cookie. Introduce yourself, Brad.
Yeah, I'm Brad. I'm the CEO and founder. I like to add that part on there, of Fat and Weird Cookie. So I think that's the important part, you know? Not all CEOs are founders, and that's a different story.
That is a totally different story, you know, maybe one day, but you know, you can sit back in a rocking chair and pass the torch on to somebody, but I don't think you're that type of guy, are you?
Not anytime soon, so.
All right, so do you prefer to be called Brad or Bradley?
Brad.
Okay, we'll go with Brad. Brad, who came up with the name Fat and Weird?
Yeah, we actually were looking at YouTube videos the other day, and there's a cruise vlog that says it's time to get fat and weird. And this was before Fat and Weird Cookie existed. But I came up with the name for it. Aubrey and I actually remember we were laying at the pool trying to just come up with names for the cookie company, and we were just like saying names back and forth. And finally I was like, what about Fat and Weird Cookie? And she was like, dang it, that is a good name. So I think she was like low-key upset that she didn't name it, but you know, Fat and Weird just kind of stuck.
And you know, wives are usually right most of the time, whether we like to admit it or not. We'll just let that one be. We won't add to the fire.
Well, she said it was a good name, so she was right.
We'll say, hey, there you go. As long you guys are both on the same wavelength, like everything's kosher. All right, next question for you. If you had to pick one cookie to survive on a deserted island, but that cookie was also your only friend, how long would you wait to eat it?
Oh, it's like a Wilson situation.
Wilson!
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd wait to eat it at all because I love cookies so much. So I'd probably just eat it right away. I'd have to find a new friend.
So day one, you're taking out your one friend.
Yeah, I gotta stay mentally sharp because I gotta figure out other ways to survive. So I need those calories. So.
Yeah, need the calories to survive on a desert island. It totally makes sense. I get it. Would you make like a coconut your friend, or would you just kind of
rock?
Rocks are.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense because rocks are very, thorough. They don't do a whole lot.
It's versatile, and it can't really get away from you. Coconut might roll away.
True.
Like whatever.
True.
Someone may try to eat your coconut.
You might drink it.
Yeah.
You never know because you gotta stay hydrated.
Good. Yeah, rock's good.
I like where your head's at. All right. Be honest. How many cookies can you eat in one sitting before you start to feel like you should call a doctor? I'm strictly asking for a friend.
Well, I've done the mega challenge, which at the time was our 1 pound cookie, and I ate one of the Brad 1 pound cookies in under a minute. And I definitely felt like shaky and stuff. So that would be the equivalent of eating like 3 of our cookies. So I'd probably say like somewhere between like 4 and 6, that'd probably start to like feel like gross, just from the amount of like butter that's in there,
The sheer volume and then the calories.
4 of our cookies would be like 600 times 4 is like 2,400 calories-ish.
Yeah, you can survive off
24 to 3,600 calories, depending on if you ate 4 to 6 cookies. So
bulking season.
Always, I feel like.
It's always bulking season at Fat and Weird.
Yeah, when you own a cookie company.
All right, real talk. If you had to design a cookie for aliens, what kind of weird stuff are you throwing in there? Because they're not coming here just for chocolate chips.
Oh gosh. I actually was thinking about the other day, I guess this wouldn't be necessarily designing for aliens, but designing for myself is, every April we launch the BBC, which is Brad's birthday cookie. And I like change it every year what I want in it. And right now I'm on a really big kick of like honeycomb, but like the candy honeycomb, you know what I'm talking about? It's like just like a chocolate covered honeycomb bars and stuff like that. And I've been like breaking one up and putting it into ice cream at night with cookie. I had a cookie terrestrial with that mixed into ice cream the other night actually. So I would add like honeycomb and Heath bits and chocolate would be like what I added to a cookie.
That sounds like we got something in the works now.
Yeah, that's like BBC version, whatever we're on now, like 4 or 5, yeah.
7.5. All right. If you could put a motivational quote inside of your cookies, what would it say? Would it be something like, keep on going, mama didn't raise a quitter, or, what would you say? What would be your motivational quote inside of a cookie?
Honestly, someone like said this to me one time, like on a flight, just like we were talking, and he had his PhD in pharmacology or something like that. Like, so essentially like how pharmaceutical drugs affect your mental health and things like that. Very smart guy, like from Harvard, and was a professor at a major university now. And he said to me on the flight, everything's gonna be all right. And like, I know it's gonna sound weird, but like that, I don't know, it just feels good sometimes for people to like hear what's going on in your life, and then at the end of it all, you know, validate your feelings, but be like, hey man, everything's gonna be all right. And so like, I literally inside my cookie would just say like, everything's gonna be all right.
It's like a nice warm hug or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, imagine if your future self came back and met you right now, and the only thing they said to you was like, everything's gonna be all right. Would that not be reassuring?
I think you're getting real deep there,
Yeah.
you know? You're tired.
Too lighthearted. We gotta go back to lighthearted.
We got to make this fun, Brad. Like, you know, the people love Fat and Weird for the fun, you know? But that would be very motivational. And I think, you know, also that would be, if future self came back and said everything's going to be good,
Yeah.
I'd keep eating cookies.
That's the feeling I want the cookies to provide to you. Every time you bite into a cookie, I want it to feel like your future self's telling you everything's gonna be all right.
I think we need to put that on a poster. All right. I'm going to call this round, actually, I'm going to call this section the lightning round.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you between two different things, and you tell me the thing that you like. So,
With no explanation, just say
no
what I like.
explanation,
Okay.
just rapid fire.
All right.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Obviously. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
All right, last one. Steak or shrimp?
Steak.
Not both.
She didn't say I could do that.
Hey, you're Brad,
but no.
CEO of Fat and Weird. You
Steak,
can
no.
tell me what you want.
I literally could just eat steak for a meal, like nothing else with it, just steak.
Straight carnivore style. All right. This next one, this is a hypothetical question. You're trapped in a room with 1,000 mini cookies. What is your strategy to eat your way out?
Oh gosh. I feel like once I get full, it takes me a while to like not be full anymore. So I think I need to like try to pace myself and figure out like what's the amount of cookies I could eat every so often and kind of like not be full. That or I just like try to eat all 1,000 at once. So there's like no in between with me. I'm like one or the other, you know? So I'm either like slowly trying to chip away at this or I'm just like trying to eat all 1,000 at once. I feel like I'm just gonna try to eat all 1,000 at once. So.
That's what I would do because, I mean, no regrets. Like, just go for it, full send, especially if you're trapped in a room. If you're like me, you're a little claustrophobic. So eating cookies, that'd be a piece of cake for you. All right. If your cookies were running for president, which is very topical right now, which one would have the best campaign slogan and what would it be?
I'm guessing it would have to be running for president of like cookies because like that. So it had to be Cookie Anonymous because it would be like, I'm for you people because I am you.
Greetings.
You know, because Cookie Anonymous is made of like different cookies. So I think that would be a contender for a president. Maybe Letty Doki as vice president because it's like I'm cookies and donuts. Like I understand the struggles of both, you know. So I guess it really just depends on like who their audience that's voting for them is. If it's other cookies, then yeah, Cookie Anonymous is the one I'd go for, you know.
I like it. And, you had to throw Letty in there, you know.
Because it's donuts and cookies.
It's got a good blend of everything we all love. All right. If you had to pick one cookie flavor to represent your company on a dating app, which you should know about those because I know how you and Aubrey met, which one is getting swiped right the most?
Wow. Big Sexy, ironically, would probably be the one that got swiped right the most. I would say between that one and Massive Eruption, just because I feel like people are drawn more to chocolate chip cookies in general. Like chocolate chip cookies are the most #1 sellers. So Big Sexy is like chocolate chip plus that little extra bit of caramel, and most people like that. Then I'd say Massive Eruption, just because there's so many people that are just like really big chocolate fans. So those are the two I think would do it based on flavor profiles. Based on looks alone, I don't know, maybe Aubrey Doki. It's a good looking cookie.
If Fat and Weird Cookie had to make a flavor inspired by your daily life as a CEO, what would it be called and why? And you cannot say the Brad.
No, yeah, inspired by my daily life as a CEO, it'd probably be something that's just like anxiety.
Hello, everybody.
Is what it'd be called. Yeah, I mean, it would have so much stuff in it, but like a little bit of a bunch of stuff, because that's like what my life is like. I feel like I'm like pulled in so many different directions. You've probably seen that here. You know, obviously I think Adam and I are doing a much better job of like getting people on board and delegating things out and getting people involved in things like that. But it's just like this constant, ever-changing, thing of, You know what I mean? Like this week, the whole task got shifted into like hurricane prep.
It is possible that this storm could make landfall as a major hurricane.
But that's coming, and so like my week got completely changed from what I was planning on doing this week to like, okay, we need to get the pallets taken care of, we need to get this, we need to get this and this, and get ready, get the generator run, make sure the maintenance is done. So I think a lot of times being a CEO is like you're just making sure the focus needs to be on what the focus has to be for that part of your, you know, whatever's going on in the company.
Being the CEO, you're not just sitting back in a chair, you know, watching the company go.
You know, I would love to see like what the day in life of like a CEO of like a Starbucks or, you know, Chipotle and like some of these other brands. We're talking about these big brands, like what the day in the life really looks like for some of those CEOs. But I think at the small, you know, level, you're looking at like, you know, upper 7 figures, low 8 figures business. I think the CEO is just like heavily involved in like everything, you know.
Because I mean, you're a growing company, and there's a lot of new things that come up every day that we've never, like you yourself have probably never dealt with,
Right, yeah.
or you dealt with before and wish you would have handled it a different way. And
Yeah.
now, you know, it is what it is. Being a CEO is not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right, for sure.
What is your official stance on people who split their cookies in half and save them for later? Do we embrace them, or do we pretend like they don't exist?
Yeah, I mean, I will say the cookies are big to eat by yourself. I actually, I cut, if Aubrey's not sharing with me, then I do cut the cookie in half when I like warm it up and put ice cream with it. I would say that like, we're just happy you're enjoying a cookie.
You're not going to exile yourself for cutting a cookie in half?
No, I mean, it's a lot for people. That's why the bites are great, because like you can grab a couple of bites and it's good to go.
Yeah, get a taste of a cookie in a small form.
Get in my belly!
Also filled, delicious, always in the freezer, ready to go. All right. What is the craziest request you've ever gotten for a custom cookie flavor, and how did you convince yourself it was a good or bad idea?
Oh, I mean, we've had a couple. You know, I think I've actually posted on social media about a kid that reached out and asked for like a blue stuffed chocolate chip cookie with gold sprinkles on top or something like that, and I made these custom cookies and sent it off to them. We were actually working with a potential wholesale customer who's known for spicy foods, and they asked for us to make like a hot cookie, like a very, very hot cookie. I mean, like you need to sign a waiver hot cookie.
Who can?
Which we actually did make the frosting like extremely hot. It just didn't work out. It was just too labor intensive for what they want to do. And then I was truthfully worried about running that frosting through our machines because it was so hot. I was worried about like contamination of the machine. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, it's metal, so it should just rinse out. But like, yeah, you're just worried that like somehow somebody's gonna get a spicy piece. You know?
Yeah, you know, one of those cookies you don't want to itch your eyes after.
I mean, it was literally like working with pepper spray, like that level of heat. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I'm okay without that.
Yeah.
I know my dad still wants a jalapeno brownie cookie, but I think he'll just have to make that himself.
That's an interesting
Maybe
one,
we might do it one time. He was in the last episode, so
I bet if you did like candied jalapenos and mix it into like a chocolate cookie, it wouldn't be bad. But
you're speaking his language
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now this is a much bigger operation than whenever it started, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's been what, 5 years?
Six.
Six
Started in
years now.
2018. Yeah.
That's what it is. So yeah, it's not quite the small operation like it used to be. Now we're going mostly wholesale, and then
Yep.
DoorDash, grocery stores.
Yeah. A lot of. It's a way different company than it was 3 years ago.
Absolutely. All right. If you could have any celebrity endorse a cookie, who would it be and what flavor are they promoting?
Well, I mean, I think your mind automatically just goes to like what celebrities would make the biggest impact on your brand, truthfully. And then I think next I segue to like which celebrity not only can make a big impact, but it organically fits into it. I feel like I have a marketing mind, obviously growing fat and weird. So like off the cuff, you immediately think of like big people, like, you know, you have like Ronaldo and you have like Taylor Swift, but like The Rock, it kind of fits. I mean, he's obviously a big personality, but he also has those like epic cheat days and things like that. So I feel like it would be like on brand for him to partner with you. So yeah, I think I would probably say like The Rock.
All right, so we'll DM The Rock after this and see if we can get an answer later on.
Yeah.
All right, sounds fair. And finally, where do you see Fat and Weird in 5 years?
So 5 years from now, my hopes is that we're in like a major grocery store across the U.S. that everyone has access to. So like, you know, obviously if you get into a Publix, you're only accessible to the people in the Southeast. You get into a Target, you're accessible to a lot more people because it's across the U.S., but you're still not accessible to everyone. So I think you have to get like a Target, a Kroger, H-E-B, Publix, like those kind of brands on board. So I think that would be my goal, is that like no matter where you live within reason, obviously you live in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, or you live in like middle of nowhere, Alaska, it may be hard for you. But like in general, majority of towns that have a Walmart or a Target or some kind of grocery store, that you would be able to pick up our cookies or our cookie dough bites in 30 minutes. Kind of like no matter where you lived, you could get it within the hour,
Well, Brad, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on Cookie Confessions here. All right, Brad, we're going to wrap this up. But before we go, what question would you want to ask somebody else that's going to be in that hot seat on the next episode of Cookie Confessions?
Yeah, I would like to ask them, like, what is the most stressful, like, either day, event, or time period that they've encountered at Fat and Weird, and like, why was it stressful for them? So I'd just be curious to see like what other people's perceived level of like stress was for different events. Like, because I can name a bunch that were very stressful, and I'm curious if that aligns with other people's.
Yeah, no, 100%. So thank you for watching. This is the second episode of Cookie Confessions. Comment below who you want to see in that hot seat next. But again, like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and we'll see you next time.